Hello trainers, Sharkunel here with another Pokemon Go event recap video. This time we're taking a look at the Pittsburgh Wild West Suburban Regional Kingdom Cup tournament, which took place on April 28th, 2019. We had a 23-person tournament, I believe, a 5-round tournament. We had some connectivity problems, we had some Sylph Road outages, but I think everybody who attended had a great time, and it was a great event. Congratulations to ExileXO, pictured here at the bottom center, who won this cup. I've won 3, but I did not win this one. As of right now, ExileXO is the #1 ranked player in the Pittsburgh region, so congratulations to him. I will be recapping all of my battles, and I will be interspersing some other live video that I took at the event, and I hope you find this interesting. If you do, please take a moment and hit the like button and subscribe to this channel to see more content like this. Here it is, April 28th. Market District, Settlers Ridge, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, site of the Wild West Kingdom Cup. Headed in. So here we are before the tournament with Allie. Hello. Getting all set up. Here we are, pre-Kingdom Cup, Pittsburgh Wild West trainers. Introduce yourself.
I'm Ella.
Hi. I'm Adam. Hi.
Tori.
Hi. Hi, I'm Andy. Hi. James of Wrath.
We are all getting ready, getting everything set up for the impending Kingdom Cup. Introduce yourself.
Honored. I'm Fist of Fate.
And this is...
Hi, I'm Commotion.
Hi. Preparing for the Kingdom Cup here in the Wild West. We have a giant crowd of trainers ready to go.
22.
Any words of wisdom, final strategic tips?
Always use Altaria if you can in a cup.
I'm with that. YouTube trainers getting ready for the Kingdom Cup. Pittsburgh West Hills. Are we ready for this?
I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
Mel is deep in preparation for the Kingdom Cup that's about to commence. Zooming in on her top secret team preparation. Okay, before I get into the battle videos, I do want to add one word about a change that the Sylph Road made to the seeding algorithm for the first round of the monthly cups. My understanding is that since the announcement of player rankings, instead of randomly pairing the trainers in the first round of the battles, the methodology now is that the top ranked player takes on the second highest ranked player in round 1, and then the third highest ranked player will take on the fourth, and so on, all the way through all of the players. What that means is that unlike at least one of my prior cup victories, I was not able to dodge fighting the top player other than me, who was in the tournament. So as you will see in a moment, my first round battle here was against the currently #1 ranked player in the Pittsburgh region, ExileXO, who's won multiple tournaments. So I had to go through him in order to win this tournament, and you will see that he was able to beat me pretty easily in the first round. So you can debate whether that's a good or a bad change to the seeding methodology, but it does have a direct effect on some players like me. You can't skate through these tournaments and duck and dodge playing the other top players in order to get a tournament victory. So with that, I'll get into
here we go. First
battle
round.
videos.
Good luck, man.
ExileXO versus me.
Okay, here he starts with Lucario. I start with Altaria. He swaps out to Lapras. I swap out to Lucario. So it looks like I'm in a good position here because Lucario is a good matchup versus Lapras, and he's stuck with the switch, so he can't get out of there. However, he's got his Lucario sitting back there charged up with energy, so that's not good going forward. So my Lucario is able to take out his Lapras. He brings back in his Lucario with a power-up punch ready to go. takes out mine. So I bring in Altaria. He blocks, swaps out to Steelix. I swap out to Flygon. But his Steelix was in first. He was able to get to the Earthquake. So I'm sunk. Altaria is no match for Steelix, really. So, good game to exile on game 1. Second game, I swapped to a Bronzong team with the Bronzong lead to see if I could throw him off a little. So here goes Bronzong, but he guessed correctly. Steelix is a wall for Bronzong. So outguessed by Exile on this one. I basically have to swap out to Lucario. I block the crunch, and then he swaps out to his Lucario. I get off the power-up punch. He blocks. But there goes my Lucario. I bring the Bronzong back in. I should not have blocked that power-up punch, but I was afraid it was a Shadow Ball. So I take out his Lucario, and I'm fully charged up. He brings in the Steelix, which again is a bad matchup for Bronzong. Essentially takes me out with a crunch. So I'm down to my last Pokemon here, which is Lapras. So I take out the Steelix, and his final Pokemon is his Lapras. And as indicated earlier, he's got the Ice move Lapras, and I've got the Water move Lapras. Plus he's got Dragon Pulse, and I do not. So he's going to win this battle. And it's basically good game to exile, and I'm sent along my merry way. So the first round of the tournament, exile takes me out. So that's what I was mentioning earlier. Taking on the top player in the region, the number 1 ranked player in the region. Not the greatest start to the matchup. And my second round opponent is JMC3 Terp, who is a pretty skilled trainer. He has won tournaments in the South Hills region that doesn't operate within the Pittsburgh region, but he knows what he's doing. So I bring Lapras, he brings Altaria. And I'm pounding away with Water Gun. I get to the Surf first. He lets it go through. So I let the Sky Attack through. And he's got the health advantage here. I get to the second Surf. He lets it through again. But Altaria wins that battle. So I bring in my Altaria. He's got a Sky Attack ready. So he does a nice chunk of damage before my Altaria can take him out. So I have some energy charged up. He brings in Lucario, but I can get to the Sky Attack pretty quickly. He blocks. You have to block with Lucario. I blocked that power-up punch. I'm not certain that was the correct move, but I think my matchups were bad here anyway. So he's able to take out the Altaria. I bring in my Lucario, half to shield. He's got a power-up punch ready. But because his Lucario was already charged up with additional damage, he took out mine. So good game to JMC on game 1. So I go with Altaria, Lucario, and Flygon for my second game. And he flips the script and brings a Bronzong. So I'm hammering away with the fast attack. I get to the sky attack first. Bronzong doesn't charge up his moves extremely fast. He lets it through, and I block. I think I was afraid of the flash cannon. I wasn't sure which attack was coming through. So I get to the second sky attack. He blocks it. And I let through his charge attack. Altaria goes down. Lucario comes in, takes out Bronzong. He brings in Altaria. I swap out to Flygon. He swaps out to Lucario. Flygon charges up Earthquake pretty quick. I get to it. He blocks it. I shield the power-up punch, hoping to get to Dragon Claw anyway, but I was not able to get that Dragon Claw off. So I bring in Lucario for the power-up punch, but he has a Sky Attack charged up on his Altaria in the back, so good game to JMC, and I am 0-2 in this tournament so far. So I'm not off to a great start.
Hang on. Hi, this was my round 2 opponent that beat the tar out of me.
It was closer than it.
Introduce yourself.
JMC3 Turb.
JMC3 Turb. Thank you for beating me. Thanks for the battles, man.
Good games, thank you.
So my round 3 opponent is Stelfair, who is another very skilled competitor who has won tournaments. He's been competing in this West region pretty much since the beginning. And so I start with Bronzong, and he brings an Altaria. He gets to the Sky Attack. I let it go through. I get to the Flash Cannon. He blocks. So I'm just trying to get to one more charge move. He brings a Sky Attack and I block. I'm able to get to the Heavy Slam, but he swaps out and brings in Celio. This is the first time I've seen Celio in this tournament. He lets the Heavy Slam through, which does pretty good damage on Celio. I bring in Lucario. Have to block with Lucario. And Lucario takes out Celio with a couple of fast moves. He brings in Altaria. I swap out to Lapras. Sky Attack does a decent chunk of damage, but Lapras is able to take out Altaria with fast moves. I go with an Ice Beam on his Bastiodon. He blocks it, so he's out of shields. I'm just trying to do as much damage as I can to his Bastiodon. Didn't get to another charge move. But I've got Power Up Punch ready with Lucario. Super effective damage. And here's where I get lucky. I thought I had lost that with a flamethrower. I talked to Stelfair afterwards, and he indicated he only had enough candy for one move, or enough Stardust. He couldn't get the second move, and he selected Stone Edge. So I think flamethrower probably would have been the better move there and would have won that game, but resources dictated, and so I lucked out. I was able to win that game because Lucario was able to survive the Stone Edge, whereas the flamethrower would have killed him. Second game, I lead with Lapras. He brings out Alolan Marowak. I draw the shield. He swaps out to Celio. I'm not really remembering this matchup or familiar with this matchup, so I'm fighting it out here. Lapras versus Celio. And then I just swap out to Lucario. I think I built up a little energy on Lapras there before he went out. So Lucario makes pretty short work of Celio. He does get to a Body Slam I have to block. But Celio goes down. And I throw up the Shadow Ball. And he lets it through. So that does a nice chunk of damage on Altaria. That's always the hope when you've got Lucario versus Altaria that you can sneak a Shadow Ball in there. So Lucario did good damage to Altaria. I bring in the Bronzong. Dragon Pulse doesn't do much. Bronzong takes out the Altaria. So I'm able to get to the Heavy Slam. Takes out most of the rest of Marowak. He is able to get to another Bone Club and take me out, but I've got Lapras sitting there. So, good game to still fair. And I am able to take round 3 of the tournament.
Here we are waiting for the Silk Road to come back up. We're 3 rounds in to a 5-round tournament. Look at the impatience on these people's faces. Look how sad everybody is.
That was just a little fun with the Sylph Road outage in the middle of our tournament. My 3rd round opponent is Melgood, and I have faced her multiple times in the Twilight Cup, so I know her pretty well. We both lead with Altaria. She swaps out to Bastiodon. I swap out to Flygon. And Flygon is a very good matchup versus Bastiodon. I block the Flamethrower, get to the Earthquake. She blocks it. She knows what's up. And I'm able to get to the 2nd Earthquake before she can get to the next charge move. She blocks it again, so I've burnt both of her shields. I let the Stone Edge through. And I'm able to get to a 3rd Earthquake. Flygon charges up Earthquakes so fast. So Flygon is able to burn both of her shields and take out Bastiodon. So that's a great job for Flygon. She brings in Lucario. I bring in Altaria. She's got no shields left. So the word is that a shieldless Lucario is a dead Lucario. So she does burn 1 shield with her charge attack, but Altaria takes out Lucario pretty well. He's built up some energy, so he gets off a Sky attack. So most of her Altaria is gone. My Lucario does have to sustain 1 Sky attack, but is able to finish her off. So we take the first game from Mel. So in the second game, I use Altaria, Lucario, Flygon. So this time she starts with Lapras. So this is a Ice move Lapras, so I've got to swap out. Altaria can't sustain that, so I bring in Lucario. She hits me with that Ice Beam, but then swaps out. Brings in Altaria. I go for the Shadow Ball. She blocks it. I have to use the shield for Lucario. I'm trying to get to that Shadow Ball again. I do. She blocks it again. So we're both out of shields now. She takes out the Lucario. I bring in my Altaria. She gets to the Sky Attack first. I've got mine charged up pretty quickly. So I edge out the Battle of the Altarias. She brings Bastiodon. He takes out Altaria very quickly. And I've got Flygon. So again, I'm trying to get to that Earthquake. Again, another Stone Edge from a Bastiodon instead of a Flamethrower. I guess Flamethrower probably wouldn't have done much against Flygon, but she takes me out. So good game to Mel on game 2. So we're 1-1 now, and we have to go into a third game. Mel and I have had some fairly epic battles. We had to battle each other twice in a row in the Twilight Cup. So here we are again going to a third game. So I switch it up. I go Lucario first this time. She brings in Lapras. So this is a pretty good matchup for me. Lucario, she sees it, she swaps out immediately. I swap out to my Altaria immediately. So we have the Headbanger's Ball of two Altarias against each other. I let the Dragon Pulse through. That was a mistake. I should have blocked. So I bring in Flagon. I get to the Dragon Claw pretty quickly. She blocks. I'm on my back foot now, so I've got to block. I get to the Dragon Claw, relying on Flagon's speed. She's out of shields. I get to the third Dragon Claw with a sliver of health left on Flagon. Takes out most of Altaria. So all I've got is Lucario. We have a little bit of lag. So I get the Shadow Ball. Take off most of Lapras. I'm hanging on. And the question is, can Lucario get Bastiodon? There's no shields in play. And Lucario is such a wall to Bastiodon that I'm able to squeak out that victory against Mel in the third game. I thought that third game was lost, but Lucario snuck me through. So my last opponent is Arctic Seal. I had faced him before in, I think it was a Great League match, probably a couple of months ago. So it's good to face Arctic Seal again. I lead with Lucario. He brings Altaria. You can see on his team he does not have either Lucario or Bastiodon. So he was outside the quote-unquote ball core here. Let's see what he can do. So we're fighting it out. Lucario versus Altaria. Blocks the Shadow Ball. I decide not to use both shields and let the Lucario go down. So here comes my Altaria. I have the switch glitch for a minute here. But it's okay because I needed to switch out anyway. So I bring the Lapras in versus Steelix. Earthquake does good damage on Steelix, or on Lapras. He blocks, so he's out of shield, and I get to another Surf here quickly. Take out the Steelix, and partially charged up Altaria. I'm able to get off the Sky Attack and take out Blaziken, so I'm able to take game 1 versus Arctic Seal. So game 2, I'm going to start with Lapras. Let's see what Arctic Seal brings. I've got Lapras. He brings Lapras. So again, he has an ice move, ice fast move Lapras. I've got the water move Lapras. So I think that gives me the edge here. Against Altaria, that would be much better, but Lapras to Lapras, I think Water Gun wins versus the ice moves because I'm going to be doing more damage and I'm hitting him with Surf faster, I think. Yeah, so he's got Ice Beam too. So I've got the advantage here. Nobody's using shields, and I think my Lapras is going to win this. So Lapras is still a good matchup when he brings in Steelix. I'm just going to try to hit as many Surfs as I can. Figure I'm not going to get a better matchup, so I burn another shield. Get to another Surf. So he did have one shield left, and he blocks. So I swap out to Lucario. again, I have the switch glitch. And that cost me a little bit there because I wasn't able to swap out as quickly as I wanted because of the glitch. But I did get lucky, and Altaria takes out the Blaziken, and he just had a sliver left on his Steelix. So I was able to take those games. So good games to Arctic Seal. And I ended up the tournament 3-2.
Okay, just completed the Kingdom Cup. My last opponent was Arctic Seal. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Arctic Seal, also known as Lucas.
We had a great time. I ended up 3-2. And any final comments for the YouTube population?
I didn't think I was going to like this cup, but I actually like this cup. It was a good one.
Well, this has been the hardest one for me to figure out.
I agree. Very complex meta. But
Hard to simplify down into a simple team. Well, thanks for coming out, man.
And to end, I just want to thank Ali and EXO and Mel for all their efforts in dealing with some of the technical issues during this tournament. And I want to thank all the new folks who came out, and I hope you had a good time. And I'll be doing more videos like this. So again, please hit like and subscribe. And thank you very much for watching.